Thank you so much for being here tonight as we go live with this Reinvent Her live talk with Marion. And tonight, I think we have a very empowering topic that we will be discussing with some brilliant young men who's going to bring you their wisdom to share tonight. So I'm going to start tonight. Hey, guys, all of you, I'm so honored to have you here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Having me.
Thank you.
So I love you all dearly. So I'm going to begin with you, James. So James, I know you in different kind of ways, and we're not going to say how I know each of you. But would you like to share with the audience something about yourself?
Okay. My name is James. I'm 29 years old, a sergeant in the U.S. Army. I make music. I'm into fashion, arts, and all that good stuff.
Oh, I like that. So we have another awesome young man that is doing a lot of great, phenomenal things too. So Everett, would you like to share with the audience something about yourself, sir, before we begin?
Absolutely. So I am, a young fella, no, but I have a family. I have a wife and two beautiful daughters. I I'm very creative. I creative in the area of music, um, cinema, photography, videography, just a lot of different things. Um, and I'm part of a ministry. You know. Uh, And yeah, that's it. Just all around fun guy.
Okay, love everything about that. I love what you guys are doing. The next person I would like to introduce the audience to tonight is Brandon Waters. Brandon's another phenomenal young man that is doing amazing things. Uh, Brandon, would you like to share with the audience something about yourself? Brandon, can you hear me? We can't hear Brandon. Okay. All right, I'm gonna skip it. Maybe he'll come back in. So y'all ready to dive into this conversation? Tonight we're talking about the effects of being raised by a single mom. And first of all, we want to give the kudos to every mother who has raised sons, knowing that's a hard job to do. We just want to applaud them to let them know we thank them for everything they have done to help their sons to become contributing members of society. Oh, let me try Brandon. He's trying to come back in. So let me jump into this conversation. Hmm. Let's start with this. What effect did your peers have on you when you were young concerning women? Like the boys get together in the club and they get together in the corner and they talk. What can we say?
Mm. Want
What
me to start?
effect did your peers have on you when they talked about women?
So what effect does our peers have on us when they talk about women?
Yes.
I'll start. I'll say I mean, I wasn't taught to really respect females the way I should have through my peers, just because I don't think they had that guidance either. So I would say just the lack of respect or just going after the wrong things in a sense.
Wow, that's pretty powerful. Emmanuel, you hung out with your boys. What did your boys say about women before
fellas.
you became a Christian? I don't know. I'm not a fellow.
Yeah, yeah. Fellas. We get together and especially when you're young, you got hormones driving and everything. So you talk about females. That's the whole interest there. Um, so it's just God talk. I don't really know what God doesn't really. Well,
I feel you. I know you don't want to go there, but okay. Can you hear me, Brandon?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. I'm glad
Mhm.
you're back on today so that we can get into this uh, conversation about the effects of a mother on a single son. So, at what age did you feel like you became into your own man? You in the house, you're being reared, you have your instructions. At what age did you feel like you were coming into? Let's start with you, James. What
Mm.
age did you start feel? Let me say this is it. What age did you start feeling yourself?
I would say when I left the house at 20 years old.
Oh,
When I
when
joined the
you
military and I actually got out and I didn't have to worry about being told what to do and how to do it and all this stuff. So
so
I would say 20.
at 20. So when you were in the house, you wasn't feeling yourself like I'm feeling grown already.
Mm. No, not really. Mm.
Okay, Emmanuel,
Say no.
what age did you start feeling yourself?
Uh, when probably around teenage years. Um, you know, yeah, teenage years. I was, I guess, exposed to a lot of different things as far as being out in the street life. So having that home mentality of being exposed to that lifestyle, you know, um, that just opened me up to a whole world of.
Of feeling yourself?
Am I still there? Yes. Yeah, can
Yes,
you hear me?
yes. So Brandon, let me
Yeah.
kind of
So I
ask you
mean,
the same question. At what age did you start feeling yourself? Like I'm a man now.
Probably in my mother's womb before I came out. Probably before I even started walking.
Before, wow. Before you
For
start,
real.
I would
Probably
have never,
so. Shit.
I never would have expected that answer. Emmanuel,
Yeah.
his frequency is going in and out, so we have to wait till he comes back in. So you start feeling yourself at a very early age.
Yes, man. Like probably really like around about 7 or something like that. Probably about 7 years old. Probably when I was like first getting out in the neighborhood, playing basketball with my older cousins and stuff like that.
Hmm. So they
Start
began.
seeing different things.
Hmm. So they began to frame your thinking early.
Yeah. Yes, man.
Hmm. So, well, what do you wish your mother knew about you when you were that age? What do you wish she knew about you?
Like I don't want to really downplay my mother because she gave me everything I feel like she possibly could, but like I say like time, like during my age coming up, my mom had to really work because like what they was used to back in the days, I guess too, you had to work to have anything. So like me just having time, too much time on my hands, like to do extra things, get into extra things, like. My mama was working trying to make sure that we was good. So
Right.
I say like time and stuff like that.
Okay, that's
Like for
very good.
somebody to be there at the school to guard you when you get home. Like I just ran straight out the door. Ain't even think about homework or nothing. Like my mom was at work, so
Gotcha.
I get home, drop my bag, and straight to my people's house.
Gotcha. So, James, what about you? What do you wish your mother knew about you?
I would actually say the same thing that I needed that attention. Like I just needed that somebody to be there for certain things and just have that support.
So, do you feel you were spoiled? Anybody ever felt they were spoiled?
I do.
Okay.
I feel like I was spoiled because like my mom was a great woman. She got a big heart. So like certain things I should have went through as a young man, you feel me? She kind of like shielded me from it. Like, right there was I mean, a correction from one of my family members or something like that because of something I did wrong. Her as a mother, she shielded me from certain things. I ain't blaming her for that, but that's
No,
just
no,
the
no,
love she
no.
had for me. That's the
Yes.
love she had for me as a mother.
So you
I
think
probably
because you think it because you were shielded from certain things that it kind of stunted you from uh
Yeah, I would have know what it feel like to go through the full process instead of her being there to block me. You know what I'm saying? Like now that I'm grown, I like it's 100% all me. You know what I'm saying? I
right,
can't really depend on her at
right,
all in a sense. But in those times, she shielded me. She blocked me from things that probably would have helped me. But at the same time, it was all motherly love though.
right, exactly. Exactly. Well, you guys, I hope everyone is listening carefully tonight because these young men parents will be on next week. Their parents are coming on
Yeah.
to talk about it. So you felt what about you, James? Did you feel like you were being sheltered or rescued from growing up?
No, not at all. I actually feel kind of the opposite of that because like my mother was there, but that attention and that like she took care of us as far as making sure we had clothes on our back, a roof over our head. But as far as giving us that attention and making sure we were
Hun, just
like
one.
good,
Hun, I did something. I'm sorry, guys. I took out Brandon and put Emmanuel in Brandon's spot. And Hun, wait, let's see. Let's see. I don't know how to do this. Let's see. Can I get him? I don't took out. Well, anyway, hold that thought, guys. Hold that thought. This is
okay,
live, and with live, you're gonna have some challenges. Oh God, this is good conversation already. I like what Brandon was saying that he felt that his mom sheltered him from things that she should have allowed him to experience. But you didn't experience that. You were able to just go and do what you wanted to do, pretty much. Scooter.
right, right, yeah, that's how I feel. I was pretty much able to just go out and do my own thing, and
Now, I'm speaking on like shelter from like when I made a mistake, like I did something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I'm speaking on it from that perspective. Like if I did something wrong and one of my family members caught on to what I was doing wrong and they tried to get on my ass about, I mean, get on me about it.
Okay,
Like
you being you.
like my mama, she'll try to block me from it because she probably feel like, oh, they finna hurt him, they finna do something to him. But like I done did my dirt, so now I gotta, like I gotta go through the wrath of it. And she was right there standing in front of me, holding me, trying to cover me from it. Like I just feel
Wow.
like certain things like that, it kind of made me look like things. I mean, like certain things I should, how can I say, like be more cautious about. I
Mm-hmm.
had to go through. I had to go through it to see what the end results was because like I ain't really had no like stopping point. Like I just going, doing whatever I felt like doing. You know.
Wow. Wow. Well, let me. What would you have liked to be admired from your parents? What would you have liked to be admired for that maybe you weren't? Let's go with you, Emmanuel. What would you have liked to been admired for?
Uh, I mean, I, that's a great question. I don't really know the answer necessarily to that. I just tried to be the best, son that I could be. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I made mistakes, but
But what did you do? Whether it was it a gift or a talent or a skill or something that you had that you wish, whether you were a model child or whatever it was, that you wish that you had been admired for that. Well, you think about that
uh,
a minute while I go to James because I see James nodded his head. James,
yeah.
what do you wish you had been admired for?
So it would be like my interest in the arts, like in the sing, rap, write, and all of that. I wish that I would have been more admired so it could have developed more. Because I kind
Mhm.
of became insecure behind it when I wasn't acknowledged the way I thought I should have been.
Got you.
So,
When let's say that you weren't recognized, your gift was not recognized earlier enough.
right.
That pretty much what.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Hmm. What about you, Brandon? Do you wish you had been admired for? That what unique thing that you did that only you could do that you wish that your family seen and admired you for that? Besides your misbehaving.
Uh, I would say like the spiritual being that's within me.
That's good. That's a good. So you're saying that even though you had some spiritual things going on with you that no one really recognized, that you had a fear of God, would we say?
I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah, most definitely. Yeah. Because of the things I was doing that made it look like, oh, but you got to be the devil. But and deep down inside, I got that love that my mama got, like forgiving heart and all this. Like I be feeling like I be battling with my mother and my dad sometimes. Like my dad, he don't care. My mother, she gonna ride till the wheels fall off with you. So
Got you.
I just feel like
Well,
that in a sense.
well, did you guys feel loved? Did you feel loved,
Yeah.
Emmanuel?
yes, absolutely.
James, did you feel loved?
I did.
Well, I already heard that from Brandon that he felt mom was kind of ride or die with you no matter what.
Still is.
Yeah. What would you say? What would you say to your younger self, Emmanuel? What would you say to your younger self?
I probably would say, um,
Because we're
you
talking to
know,
some young people out there tonight that are listening, trying to find their way. So, what would you say to your younger self so that so they can hear themselves in you?
I would probably say ask more questions just around um, like like what's out there as far as just like growing and potential. Like for me, I didn't go to college, you know, um, and that would have been something that now that I think about it, probably would have been efficient, So I would just say, ask more questions and I would build more connection with other people, build a solid circle. Um, yeah,
What would you say,
that's,
James? What would you say to your younger self
I
now?
would say
That,
don't
hmm
allow yourself to suffer in silence. Express yourself and let people
mm.
know what you're going through and how you're feeling, and just express yourself more. Because I was entirely too quiet.
Were you? So you went inwardly,
Right.
and how did that affect you going inwardly, holding it all in and not
Ooh.
releasing it? How did that affect you to this point right now in life?
It can just turn you into an angry person, or you just don't know how to express yourself because you're so used to keeping it all to yourself. So when it does come out, it's like anger, some type of unnecessary emotion behind it.
That's good. Brandon, what would you say to your
Yes,
younger
ma'am.
self?
I
Brandon, can you hear me?
mean,
What would you say to
yeah,
your?
I can hear you. Accountability
Mm,
for my actions.
mm-hmm,
Uh, Strength,
mm.
because it was a lot of areas I was weak in my life coming up. Accountability and strength
So when you speak of
and hustle.
accountability, does that mean that you're what is that word? You are responding to someone who's over you that they can help you and go in the right pathway. So you weren't accountable to
Yeah,
anybody because you did it your own way, so to speak.
yeah, like kind of trying to beat around the bush in my actions, like taking accountability if you wrong, stuff like that. Not being too pride filled to do somebody wrong and continue doing it if it ain't working.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you? Ooh, Jesus. So, did any of you guys experience drugs and gangs? Did y'all experience any of that?
I'm high right now.
Well,
yeah,
I ain't mad at
I
you.
ain't gonna lie.
I appreciate your honesty. This is what this show is about. So, Emmanuel, did you experience any gangs or drugs, anything like that?
yes, I went through that. I experienced that lifestyle.
Well, how you
Um,
got involved in that?
uh, it's the environment. I was born and raised in New York. You know, uh, so enough said just by with that alone. But yeah, you walk outside and you see people selling drugs. So, it's 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 kind of compelling when you trying to figure out how do you know what I mean, drive the nicest car or have the nicest girl. You start to put two and two together. When you see them hustling, and then you want that, so you you kind of lean towards those things.
Mm. Scooter, what about you? Did you experience any drugs or gang or alcohol? What did you experience at that age?
So it was more so alcohol than anything. But as far as the gang thing, I'm from New York, like you said, and I seen it was all around me, but I never seen like the longevity in it. So I never was interested in actually being a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
but I was like amongst it. So I mean,
Mm-hmm. I get
yeah.
you. Wow. So what would you say to your younger self now? What would you do differently now than what you did back then? If you knew what you knew now, what would you do differently? I'll talk to you, Brandon. What would you do differently now? Now that you know what you know now, what would you do differently?
Stay true to myself and trust in my grind.
What would you say to yourself, Scooter, James?
Mm, that's a good one. You mean what would I change?
Yeah, if you were your younger self now, knowing what you know now, what would you say to yourself?
Um, then you asked us that already, right? Or am
I
I
don't
getting it
know, did
confused?
I? If I did, I need you to answer it.
Oh, okay, my bad. No, I would say like I would just express myself more and not be as silent as I was and as quiet as I was.
Okay, you probably did tell me that you would express yourself more clearly.
Yeah, I would like put it out there how I feel and not keep it to myself so much.
Mm-hmm. Because I think you did say it kind of made you more
Right.
angry.
Hmm.
Okay, I got you. Were you ever told you're the man of the house?
No.
Were you ever told you're the man of the house, Brandon?
That was my dream.
That was
That
your
was my dream. Like,
dream.
yeah, that was my dream ever since I came into this world. To like put myself in a better situation so that I can help my grandma, my mother out. That's always been my dream.
Brandon, boy, you are something else, but I like your answers though. Oh my God.
Seriously.
Okay, well, that's how you felt. Emmanuel, have you ever been told you're the man of the house?
Um, no, but I carried that demeanor. I would say, you
Okay,
know, um, making sure my household was taken care of, as much as I could with what I had.
got you. Okay. Do any of you guys right now have any bottled up, unexpressed emotions right now? Brandon, let me begin with you. Do you have any
Yeah,
bottled up, unexpressed emotions?
yeah, I do. But it's all based off of me though. Like stuff that I got ideas and stuff that I wanna put into play, just figuring out how to start small or somewhere, get it all into formation.
So, since you have those bottled up emotions right now, how do you intend to express those emotions without anger?
You still speaking to me?
Yes, sir. How do you intend to express those unexpressed emotions without anger?
Alright. Not overthinking.
Not overthinking it. Okay. Okay. Very good.
Uh,
Yeah. Very. So, you young man, if you have bottled up, unexpressed emotions, how would you share to another young man how he need to release it? He's mad and he's up to here. How would you share with him how to release those emotions?
pray, pray, and try your best to do right by people. Because what you put out in the universe is 9 times 10 what you gonna get back.
That's good. Scooter, how would you tell him, because you weren't unable to express yours, how would you tell him how to begin?
Mm. I would say find somebody that you can confide in, and let it out if you can that way, or therapy if you have that option. I would say definitely go to therapy.
That's good. That's good. Were you were you angry with any of you guys ever angry with your mother because your father wasn't there? Anybody was?
I was trying to figure out why my pops like 30 minutes away and we can't like go see him like.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it was something deeper than what I know.
Mm-hmm. I understand that. So did any of you guys ever blame your mother because the father wasn't there?
I did it.
Yeah, sometimes when things wasn't going my way, yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
did that. Did that a lot. When things wasn't going my way, I felt corner boxed in. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So What would you like to have heard that I'm proud of you for?
Not
That's
giving up.
okay. I'm proud of you that you didn't give up. Scooter, what would you have liked to have heard that I'm proud of you?
For not following the crowd, for going out and
Oh,
like getting what I wanted for myself and doing what I had to do to ultimately become who I am.
wow, that is really good. Wow. Well, I know some of you guys already expressed that you about having too much freedom. What did having too much freedom allowed you to do?
Ooh.
Emmanuel, having too much, did you have too much freedom?
Um, yeah, I had, it was moments in my life where I had too much freedom.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And what did you do at that time when you had too much freedom?
I explored.
I heard that all the way to the end.
You say explore.
He explored. That's a good answer. James, did you have too much time? And what
I
did you
did.
do with that too much time?
I was out, just like he said, exploring. I was out just doing stuff I didn't necessarily have any business doing, just out there.
Wow. Wow. So tell me, how did you find your way back from waywardness? You were out there and then somehow or another something clicked. What clicked in you to find your way back from waywardness? James.
Oh, just trying to figure out where I wanted to go as far as just knowing I wanted to do better with myself. So just I had to change my surroundings. So I took myself out of there and just joined the military.
So that kind of start putting you on the right trajectory to where you wanted to go in life.
Right.
Brandon, how
Yes,
are
mom.
you finding your way back? That's why I'm going to ask you this question. I'm rephrasing it a little bit differently. How are you finding your way back from waywardness?
I mean, it's a journey. I'm just starting to like really trust the process. I know, like I always felt like I was here for something great. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like sometimes it's hard for me to communicate it,
Mm-hmm.
but like I always felt like I know I'm gonna be able to do something for myself and my family one day. It
Mm-hmm.
just trying to stay focused, like really just staying focused and like I say, trying to do right by people and making good decisions and choices. I'm still making my way.
That's good. That's good that you hadn't given up on the fight or the journey. And life is a journey, and you will find your way back if staying focused and, as Scooter saying, changing the environment and getting around the right people. That will definitely start you going in the right path, and which I believe that you're really headed to go. Wow. Okay. Let me ask you another question. What struggles did you experience finding your own identity? What did you experience trying to find your own identity? What struggles? James.
Um, as I got older, I not having like a solid father figure just had me trying to figure out how to be a man in the sense of not leading with emotion since I was so used to that from my mother, just everything being blown out of proportion and emotional. Somebody just to think with like how to think with logic and think about how to handle a situation without it, like I said, going haywire. Yeah.
Emmanuel, what did you struggle with trying to find your own identity?
Um, you struggle with a lot. You struggle with rejection. You know, I struggle with you know a lot of different things,
Mm-hmm.
trying to identify who I was.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you go through life and you encounter different circles, and you just like my like Rose said, it's a journey, and you on a journey and you exploring, you know. Um, I think foundation is important though, you know.
Mm, that's good. I'm really hearing you guys share the depths of your heart. It's hard. Is it hard being a man, growing up to be a young man? Is that hard, Brandon?
Yeah, it can be. It can be at
So,
times. It
mhm.
depends. It depends on you.
So
It depends
what
on
you would say has been your hardest part in your journey?
just, I mean, trials and tribulations. Like, I guess, like just making errors and mistakes and stuff, and getting corrected by people that really care for me along the way.
So when someone corrects you, um, to bring you some order back in your life, do you get angry with them, or is it well received? Or
It was hard. It, it was
put your
once
face back,
hard,
put your face
cause
back on
like
the camera. Put your face back on the camera. Okay, go ahead, please.
it wa- it was once hard because like he said, the foundation and stuff. Like when you grow up around a lot of people, like it's a set way of living. Like you could be a person that's coming to change and make better with the understanding that's already built there as the foundation. But it's like that comes in a clashing when you got situation like that amongst families and stuff like that. Like it make things kind of harder for you because like in the world we're living in now, like everybody want to be the chief and stuff like that. So it make it hard in so many different ways, man. Like trying to become a better person. Like even if you fall short once, like it's hard being a young man because you are what you stand on. Whatever you do, whatever fruit you produce in this world, that's how people gonna look at you. So becoming a better person is always gonna be hard when you start off rough. Like
So
I
you,
feel like a lot of mistakes I made, it made it harder for me to get back into the person that I really am.
well,
Just for
let me
short
just.
term.
I was going to say, let me encourage you that we all fall short. We all miss the mark. Uh, but the thing is, be willing to get back up and get back in the vein and in the zone again, in the flow of life. You can do that. You can do that. But I was
Like,
so. Did you guys actually feel lost at some point in your life? Like I don't know where I'm going, what I'm doing. Did you actually feel lost at some point, James?
a lot.
Yeah, I would say I did. Um, like I said, that guidance was missing from a father figure. So
Mm-hmm.
that caused me to just feel like I just needed that. I was just yearning that more than anything, and that how to move as a man, what to do, So yeah, that was definitely missing.
So, Emmanuel, did you feel lost somewhere in the sauce, somewhere during that time, not knowing where to go, what to do, who to talk to?
Absolutely, yeah. Um, it's challenging because, you know, fellas don't really open up like females open up and talk, you know. So, you know, or at least I wasn't open up to none of that type of stuff
Mhm.
growing up, you know. So, yeah, I felt lost a lot of times, trying
Mm.
to figure life out, and you know,
Wow. So, oh, I like that statement that you made, trying to figure life out. Uh, when do you think that, I'm gonna ask you that, Brandon? I guess we all still trying to figure life out, because life does have a flow to it at some point, and we can kind of get into that flow after so many mishaps. So, Brandon, did you feel lost at some point? Like maybe do you still feel lost? Let me ask you that, Brandon. Do you still feel a sense of not connected, a connectedness?
It had got bad for me one time where when things was bad, I was smiling more than when things was good.
You were smiling, but you wasn't okay.
Yeah, I was smiling more when things was bad than
Wow.
when the good times did come around. Like I was kind of like to find a reason like it can't be right. Like, ain't this too good to be true? Like, it just yeah, like
Wow.
I done been lost. Yeah,
Well, as a woman too, as a young girl growing up, I think at some point maybe I felt a sense of being lost too. But we're talking about from the male perspective now. Do you feel, James, that you were labeled?
Mm. Um, Not necessarily that I noticed.
Hmm.
Maybe I was, but I didn't pick up on it.
Hmm. Anybody felt like they were labeled, or like, when I said labeled, like sometimes you might hear someone say, "You always doing that." That's kind of like sticking you in a box. Did you guys kind of feel that way at some
yeah,
point? So
yeah, yeah.
speak up. I can't hear you that well, Brand.
What
Brandon,
you say,
I was just saying, you said you felt
ma'am?
like you were labeled as as the bad guy, or the guy who don't want to learn, the guy who don't want to do. Were you any of you guys never felt that?
Yeah, yeah. I felt that before when I had a lot of people around me.
Mm-hmm. Wow. If you guys tonight, you guys, we're talking to some young people out there tonight, and that they're listening. What would you, James? What would you say to a young man? He's trying to find himself out there. What would you say to him? You know, to not to give up hope. What would you say to him?
I would say take your time. It's not necessarily a rush to find yourself. Just get out there and figure out how you want to move in the world and what you have to offer. And also find that mentor. If your father's not around, find somebody that you could look up to that can guide you in the right direction. And you'll always end up where you were supposed to be.
That's good. Emmanuel, what would you say to a young man that is listening tonight? They had some of the same similarity of the struggles that perhaps you had experienced. What would you say? What would you say to them tonight?
Just try to position yourself around people that are headed in a positive direction, uh, and try to stay as close as possible. You know, uh,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And what about you over here, Brandon? What would you say?
There's a lot of power in your tongue and your spirit. Be careful what you speak, and be careful what you allow to drive you forward towards whatever you're trying to do in life. And
Mm.
if it ain't, I mean, if it ain't helpful even if it's helpful in a negative way and it mean good, you gotta take that. Like,
What is this is another question I have, because I thank you guys for actually sharing your life experiences with us and how you were. But what is one thing you would like, or several things that you would like to thank your mother for? Let's begin with you, Brand. There's some things you would like to thank her for.
uh, thank her for having me. Uh, uh, for being there for me, even when I wasn't there for her. Uh,
That's good.
mm, and I thank her for showing me what real love is and real care is.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Emmanuel, what would you like to thank your mother for?
um, yeah, just being there. You know, being a caring, loving mother, doing her best, the very best she could. You know, to raise, you know, her children.
Very good. James, what would you like to thank your mother for?
I would thank her for not giving up on herself, seeing how like hard it was for her and the
Oh,
things
that's
she had to
good.
go through, for her not giving up on herself and actually doing what she could to take care of us and be there.
That's good. Do you feel
I agree, Mama.
so? Do you feel that during those times you had to continuously prove yourself? Brandon, do you feel like you had to prove yourself all the time?
Not
Brandon, that
re-
question is for you. Do you feel like you
uh,
had to prove yourself during those times?
not No man, not really.
Uh-huh.
I
You didn't.
just
Okay.
always want to be a better reflection of myself
Mm-hmm.
as it is. So just hearing her say it and showing how much she care more than me at times when I couldn't see straight. It just made me want to goddamn make sure it happened before it's too late.
That's good. Very good. James, who did I ask all of you guys that same question? 'Cause I don't know. Do you have to, James, did I ask you that? What do you feel you had to prove yourself? Do,
Uh, in a sense, I did. I felt like I had something to prove. Like just judging by my surroundings and seeing people that's not really doing much, I just always wanted better. So I had something to prove to myself that I could go past what I knew.
and what you saw. You ever felt
Right.
like a time you said, "I wish my mom would just back up off of me"? Anybody ever felt that? The pressure? Brandon, you felt the
Yeah,
pressure like, "Mom, back up
I
a
done
little,"
felt.
huh?
Yeah, it done got to the point where my mom was like so intact with me, like we can go to a job interview or something. I fill out the application and everything. I go in there with her. She want to speak for me and everything. Like I feel you. Like I done been in that situation multiple times. Like when it was getting cars or whatever, my mom was every step of the way with me. Like she didn't really like want to let me talk. I had to tell her, "Ma, I got it." Like, I'm good. Like she was
Gotcha.
like that.
What?
Still is.
Mm-hmm. So was that kind of affecting you coming into the person in which you wanted to be, or you were feeling like you were still being framed and shaped into what they would want us to be?
Yeah, in a sense, that's probably what it was. That's how I reacted to it.
Mm-hmm. James, do you have the same experience? Like, hey, man, hold up, back up a little bit. Did you encounter that?
No, not at all. My mother was just like a figure it out type of person. It wasn't. She wasn't about to go with me nowhere and try to help me out to figure out certain stuff. It was just like, all right, you can do that. Go do it.
So
Figure it
with
out.
so with that, that made you more independent,
It
somewhat,
did.
or able to trust your own decisions.
Right.
What, Emmanuel? Do you ever felt that way? Like, hey, back off a little bit.
Yeah.
So how did you say that without being disrespectful? Did you walk
Um,
out and close the door? Did you go in the bedroom and slam the door?
there were instances like that.
Gotcha, gotcha. So you guys all, and I think who was telling me they felt that their mom was overprotective. I'm listening to Brandon right now when he just felt that he was just. So what would you say to a mother today that is listening? I'm talking to you right now, Brandon. What would you say to a mother right now that is listening and she wants to do something different? How would you tell her to handle that? To let you have
Uh,
your own opinion? How would you say that?
I couldn't really say. Like, it'll be hard for me to really say.
It would be hard for you to actually say, let me have my own say so and let me have my own life. Do you think that hindered you from becoming everything you could at that moment? Do you think that hindered you?
Mm-mm. No, ma'am.
Okay, it didn't hinder you. Okay, very good. Do you feel in the house you were given enough space, or did you feel
Yes,
closed in?
ma'am.
What about you, Scooter? Did you feel you had enough space, or did you feel closed in?
I felt closed in for the most part. We didn't have too much space. I always shared a room like with my brother and stuff, so it was never a matter of having my own room and stuff.
So you felt that you had no privacy to yourself when you needed that time. Just a
Yeah.
moment, just a moment. I'm having an overwhelming moment. Where did you go spend that moment? I'm full now. You get what I mean? I'm full and I got a lot of emotions going on. Where did you spend that time? Because you had to be in the house. Where did you spend that time?
Outside, I would be down the block with everybody, just hanging out until the wee hours of the night, and then I would go home and do it all over again the next day.
Brandon, how did you handle that time?
Same thing, just about like I grew up in the household. Well, my mother, we didn't really like too much have our own like station home like our own. We always like with my grandmother. So I grew up in the house like almost like the 50 Cent movie Get Rich or Die Trying. Like it was almost like that in a sense. Like everybody was walking to my grandma's house, like you know what I'm saying. Besides my uncles and stuff like that, like
Mm-hmm.
I ain't ever really had that own space myself. But I mean, everything working out for the better though. Now that I'm getting a little age, which I was afraid to, I'm seeing things clear and understanding things better.
So, sound like I heard you say I was afraid to grow up. Is that what you said, Brandon?
I wouldn't, no man, I wouldn't say I was afraid to grow up. That could be one of my characteristics though at a point in time in my life though. That could have been one thing that I was dealing with.
James, were you ever afraid to grow up, or you couldn't wait to grow up?
Could not wait. Couldn't wait.
Emmanuel, what about you? Were you afraid to grow up, or you couldn't wait to grow up?
I couldn't wait.
I wow. Okay, guys. So how did you learn to become a man, James?
By just stepping out into the world and basically figuring it out. And I'm still figuring it out. But yeah, that's pretty much. I had to get out there, and figure it out on my own.
So, so you had to figure it out on your own. And I'm sure that was a very challenging time to try to figure it out on your own.
Yeah.
So I want everyone to understand this program is to empower those that are listening and to know that these young men are sharing their experiences and their mothers will be on next week to talk about some of their challenges that they had raising sons and knowing that they weren't able to give them everything that they need. So they will be on next week to talk about this as well. So what you're hearing now is what they're sharing, then their parents will come behind us. And so, are anybody up here angry with their mother right now? Very good, very good. So let me tell you, to learning to behave yourself as a gentleman. Who did you see that modeled by that you learned how to be a gentleman? How did you learn how to be a gentleman, Emmanuel? Because if
I,
you've been reared by a mother can't teach us a young man how to be a gentleman. How did you learn to be a gentleman?
I would say, I had stepfather there, just watching my mom and pops.
James, how did you learn how to become a gentleman?
Hmm. My grandfather was really someone that I looked to as far as how to deal with females in a sense. So I would say from him, if anybody.
Very good. Brandon, how did you learn how to become a gentleman?
Like my uncles and stuff, like my uncle Bob, Uncle Douglas, stuff like that. My Uncle Jacob.
Hmm. Because actually, it does take another man to show a young man how to be a gentleman, how to respect women. So,
Right.
what is that? Another thing I'm going to ask you. I think I kind of asked you that. Since mothers have so much tremendous impact on their sons, what impact do you say your mom had on you the most, James?
Mm. She taught me how to go out and get it on my own, to basically figure it out and want it for yourself.
Ooh. Emmanuel, what impact you would say that one impact, several, whichever one you want to give, that you say your mother had on you? Because mothers have tremendous impacts on their sons. What impact do you think your mom had on you?
Um, she taught me, you know, simple things in life that, you know, I she that I use as far as just being like independent or even teaching my children. She taught me basic morals, a lot of just basic things.
So good. Gran, what impact did you say
Yes,
your mom
ma'am.
had on your life that would never leave your life? What impact would that be?
How passion, loving, and caring.
That's good because we need all of those things actually to survive and to be able to connect with other people, to being loving, compassionate, the guidance and everything that they're poured out to you guys. That has helped you guys to become who you are today. That has helped you become. Do you ever feel that your mother pushed you away at any time in your life, Scooter?
I do. It was the times where I feel like I needed that attention or that motherly love and affection and stuff like that, and it just wasn't there because she had her own thing going on. She had two other kids to worry about, so there was only so much she could give,
Hmm.
and those are the times where I felt like I was pushed away.
What would you tell a young man that's feeling like he's been pushed away right now from his mother? What would you tell him?
First thing I would tell him is to express that and make sure he's letting that be known, and and to know that his mom is only doing what she can in the moment. Literally, like
Oh, that's
mentally, she's
good.
probably
Very
only doing what
good.
she can, and that as long as he keeps expressing that to her, she'll come around eventually.
Very good. Brandon, did you ever feel like your mom pushed you away?
Uh, I can't really say she pushed me away. Like I just,
Okay, well then I'm gonna rephrase this different to you. Did you
I
feel
guess it probably
yourself,
was her way of surviving. Like I had, I had two sisters and just me. So like, I don't know.
or did you feel yourself pulling away?
I feel like she probably, yeah. It was more of that than her.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just saying, hey, go out there. It was more me forcing it.
Mm-hmm. So, but you felt yourself pulling away. Were you pulling away to find your own identity, or you were just pulling away because whatever? Why were you pulling away?
Yeah, to find my own identity because I felt like my mom already had a picture of who she wanted me to be. Not saying there's nothing wrong with who she seen me to be. It's just certain things I don't feel like I would have been fit to do what she see me as being at the time.
Uh, would you? I need Scooter. Could you maybe speak to a mother who has high, which all mothers do have high expectations for their son? Could you share with her how to not not allow herself to want it so much from the son that it pulls him away?
Hmm. I would say as long as you taught him, you spoke life into this child, and taught him the right ways, you really have nothing to worry about because we're gonna grow up, we're gonna get into things you don't necessarily agree with, but in the end we're gonna become ultimately what you set out for us to be. So there's really nothing to worry about. So don't like be on him to the point where now he's trying to get away from you and he just goes out there and ends up God knows where.
Hmm. Do you think that we can push you guys away so far uh, that we don't want to ever come back? Could that
Yeah,
happen?
I wouldn't want that.
yeah. I think it's possible. I see a lot of people that go through that with their mom. Like they just think they're too much and they don't want to deal with them at all, or their expectations are just way too high. They feel like so they just get out of there and never look back.
So the sons just pull away and not look back. Have you
Yep.
ever felt like you wanted to pull away, Brandon, and not look back?
Nah, I ain't ever got that deep.
Very good. Have you ever felt like that, Emmanuel, at some point, not while you're where you at right now, but during the younger you, that you just wanted to pull away and find your own path, so to speak?
Yeah, I can see that a little bit.
Hmm. Did you feel that too, James? Just wanting to pull away?
Yeah, I just wanted to get out the house, but it wasn't necessarily anything she was doing. It was just me
Yeah,
living
your
in that.
own. You're trying
Right.
to find your own self, or
Right.
coming to your own person.
Yeah. I take care of myself and get
Hmm.
out there on my own.
Right. And I think maybe explaining that to parents maybe sometime might think that they're taking that personal when it's not personal, when it's you as an individual trying to get your footing and your directions in life. If that's really what we're saying,
Yep.
yeah. So
Right.
that is so critical. Wow. Okay, so we're about to come to a conclusion of this program tonight, but I want to ask you guys: do any of you guys have any anger towards your fathers?
Nah, I don't. I don't call it anger. I just I check up on them if I do. Like if I don't, I don't. But I don't really got no anger in my heart.
Very
I
good.
found him, so it ain't really. I know I ain't really got no anger in me at all. Really, I just wanted some understanding of
Mhm.
where I came from. That's really it.
That's pretty powerful. Let me ask you this question since you said that. Do you feel you got any understanding from that, or are you still searching?
I know I come from a good person. You know what I mean? I know I come from a person who got good work ethics and stuff like that. Who gonna create a way to survive and
Mhm.
live.
Got you.
But as far as me getting some understanding on things that I was curious about, nah, not by a long shot.
Emmanuel, was there any anger towards your father? Very good. And anybody, you guys, who had any anger now from all our things that we experienced from when we through our adolescence age until we got up into from our puberty to our adolescent age until we came into young adulthood, have we been healed from all the trauma or all the upsetness or all the things we couldn't explain? Are we healed from those areas in our life right now? Everybody?
I'm
James,
not.
Nah,
you healed from those
nah,
areas that you have walked through?
I'm not.
nah,
No, I'm still
I'm
working on
not.
that. Yeah, I'm still trying to get through a lot of stuff that I've been through. So that's why I'm in therapy now, trying to iron all of that out.
Very good. You're wise, very wise. Brandon, do you feel you're healed from all the things you experienced when you were a youth?
I'm healing.
Yes. I mean, when you think about it, does it still hurt? Like this didn't,
Nah,
okay. So
nah, I don't even think about stuff like that. I
do
don't
you
even think
not think, okay,
about
but
that. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't.
do you not think about it because you don't want to think about it because you don't want to feel?
I mean, that's partially the reason. Yes, man.
Mhm. Got you. I appreciate that. Only way that we can be healed is that we got to admit that we hurt. And until we can admit that we are hurt, until we can admit that that wound is there, we'll still just stay there and hide underneath of it. And there's nothing wrong with going to counseling. I appreciate that, James, that you said that you're still working through. And life is a process. You got to work through. It's a journey. You got to go through many things. Sometime to get to where you have to go is it's not a sprint, it's not a marathon. It's a journey.
It is.
It's a journey, and we're
Right.
going to be on this journey until we leave here. Well, my guys,
Right.
we have reached our time tonight, and this has been so great. You sharing your hearts, and you're helping someone else heal, helping someone else come through the struggle. I do appreciate you tonight. Um, Let me just ask this last question, and I'm closing. What do you feel you lack in your life from not having the Father present? What is that one thing you feel you lack?
Confidence.
Mm-hmm. Okay. James, what is that thing you feel that you lack from not having your Father around?
Um, I would say being a leader in a sense, leadership,
Mm-hmm.
like being able to lead in a certain way.
Got you. Mm. I do. I hear that and I understand that. Emmanuel, what is that one thing you feel you lack from not having your Father around?
Yeah, confidence.
Confidence. Can I tell you guys, you all have confidence to come on this
It's definitely,
stage tonight. It
it's
took
definitely.
courage and it took confidence, and you exemplified that all tonight. So I appreciate you, and the very thing that you think that you lack, you have it. All you got to do is just step in it because it's already on you. And I see you guys going forth, becoming great men and great leaders in your home and in your communities. So I would like for you guys to, I'm gonna connect you guys with each other with a phone number so you guys can keep up with each other and encourage each other to continue to go forth and to be the leaders in which I believe God has called you guys to be. So I love you guys. So thank you everyone for chiming in tonight and to listening to this conversation with these young men, the things that their mother could not give them. The love, the mother had the love, the mother gave them a compassion, she gave them what she needed, but some things a guy can only get from another man, and that we women could never give it to them. So, guys, I thank you for sharing those thoughts, and the mothers of these sons will be on the platform next week to share where they feel they had missed it, where they feel they had come short. So until we see each other again, could you please like and share this segment out tonight? Because someone needs to hear this. All right, I love you guys. Until the next time, you be blessed. Thank you, gentlemen, for sharing your heart tonight.
All
I
right,
love you
man.
dearly.
All right.
Blessings.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.